So thank you, Christina, for taking time tonight to talk to us again about the Big Breakdown of Polly. It was quite an episode. Let's start from the beginning. And how did it start? How did breakfast start?
Breakfast was, definitely one of the toughest times so far. The lady who comes in every morning with the camera crew, she doesn't come in every morning, but she definitely came in this morning, and, I kind of knew that they would because obviously, they wanted to start the day off with a big kick, and they did, and, they only showed really that Sophie and Lori really ripping into me, but, Kim was right along with it. Kim started to rip into me, and then Sophie chirped in, and then Lori just kind of jumped on that wagon pretty hard, so it was funny that they said Kim's thing is I felt bad for her, but, she ripped into me just as much as the others.
Who started?
They did. The big break came in and said, is there anything that we want to talk about this morning? How about let's talk about etiquette? And then Kim just said I was awful, and then Sophie said I was awful, and then Lori said I was really awful, and Susan didn't say anything, but the three of them absolutely had it into me and said that I walked in her line and I moved when she was putting, and things that are absolutely absurd. But
have you had a chance to talk to Sam about that incident since? And what did Sam say? It was obviously her putt that they were talking about.
Yeah, and it was the putt that they were talking about was literally a 2-foot putt. When she went to tap it in, I motioned to start walking to put the flag back in. However, I watch the tour every week on TV. The caddy does the same thing. They motion when the stroke's in motion. Apparently, that's incorrect. She never, to get it clear, she never missed ever because of me. There was no miss that happened because I moved or that I stepped in her line or something like that. And when the show was done, Sam and I had a long talk, and we're more than fine, and she realizes that things were said and done to definitely make the pot stir and did all that. And Sam was never mad at me. That's been 100% made clear from Sam to me that, she was never at all had an issue with me. So, which is so nice to hear because that's the only person's opinion that I cared about. I don't care about the other three. I really cared about her opinion.
So going into then the day, I'm curious, how long was this day? How long did it take to film from breakfast right to the end of the day when, Susan went home? How long did that take?
The whole entire day. Breakfast is always at 6 a.m., and I'm sure my interview was done close to anywhere between 10 and 11 o'clock at night, just like every other day. Mm-hmm. It was definitely the last few days have been probably the longest days of my life. And like I said, if I wasn't a competitor, I would have walked off the show. But I wasn't going to let that happen. I would have never have done that. But there was definitely some points in time that I just didn't know if I was going to make it.
Yeah, I think we were all feeling that way. You actually said at one point, early actually, it was when the divot situation came up. First of all, I have to ask you, who was it that was there at that spot before you and left the divot without repairing it after their shot?
Kim had hit from that spot. Kim hit, made the divot. I went up next. Never was I even in my wildest dreams thinking that I was doing something illegal. All the grass, that type of grass really jets up after, and it was all just sticking out. So I just tapped it down. I didn't even know if I was going to hit off that spot or not. Had I made a decision to hit off the 6, I would have been fine. But I hit off the 4. I hit off that teeing ground and hit a great shot. Was super happy with myself. And on the green, yada, yada, yada. I'm walking back. All the producers and the lawyer and all the girls are chit-chatting there. I'm going, oh, my God, what just happened? What's happening here? How is this? What's going on? And I walked over, and they were all saying she tapped down her lie to improve her lie and this. And I never said that I didn't do it. I said, yeah, there was a divot there, so I tapped it down. It's not like I already had my spot picked out. I did it. I was like, yeah, I did. I assumed that it was like a teeing ground, but since we're in the middle of the fairway, it wasn't a teeing ground, and I admitted 100% fully. However, what my biggest thought was, why was I not informed before I tapped, or after I tapped it down, that it was wrong that I did that. I would have chosen the 2 or I would have chosen the 6 had I not been able to choose that 4. And they said, oh, we didn't know until after you hit it, which on camera tonight I saw that they did know before I hit it. I hit it, they talked about it, I hit it, then it was discussed. And when Lori tried to get Sophie in trouble, what they didn't show on television tonight is I stood up and said, stop her now before she hits that shot. And they didn't show that on TV, but I said, stop her now before she hits that shot, because I didn't want the same thing to happen to Sophie. Even though Sophie's out to get me too, I didn't want that to happen one more time. It happened once and it shouldn't have happened. I didn't want it to happen again.
Well, so usually we fix divots after we make them, don't we? Isn't that sort of the rules of golf? Or maybe that's just the etiquette of golf, to fix a divot after you make one.
Well, the etiquette was discussed in the morning, so you should have thought that we would have had that clear, because we were clearly talking about etiquette this morning, but I guess...
Yeah, well, it certainly was a show full of these challenges. And you even said during the elimination challenge that it's more of an endurance challenge, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And you also said, and it's been shown on the TV a lot, I'm going to get pushed and pushed and pushed, and hopefully I won't break. How close did you actually come to breaking that day?
Extremely close. It was as close as I could ever be. We filmed the show right after Q School, and my caddy said to me one thing. He goes, Christina, do not cry. Well, Chris, I didn't cry, but man, was I close.
So you had Susan was eliminated. She sounded pretty choked up in confessional. She was kind of standing on the sidelines watching all this drama and really wasn't involved. But it must have affected everybody. It must have even affected Lori. She missed her first putt just like you missed your first putt.
Yeah, Lori kept on saying the whole entire show that, and she almost made it seem like it was just a battle between her and I, and it was just so funny, because that's not what it's about. But, I guess that's what she made it into, and, she didn't win. So I don't know why it was a personal thing with me, honestly. To be 100% honest, Gail, I have no idea why she picked me. I mean, I said I hope Tina chokes. I admitted it. I said it was the wrong choice of word. It was not to her face. It was not like a mean-hearted, spirited thing. It was gosh, I really don't want to go to elimination, competitive, what we're put on the show for, a competitive thing. It was not mean-hearted. Everything that has come out of Lori's mouth and the other girls, excluding Susan, is mean-spirited and mean-hearted. And I said it on the show. I said, I hope no one judges them as hard as they've judged me, because they are judging me with a microscope every single time. And I haven't done anything mean or conniving or personal on the show. I said I hope she chokes. I'm competitive, but I'm not mean. They are.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you're considered the toughest competitor or something. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
You know what? Maybe that was. And I think that, something had to do with it. They all kind of knew each other. They all, had known about each other before. No one knew me. So maybe that's just kind of what it was. Maybe they wanted me out, and the only way that they felt that they could do it was to just beat me down as far as they could. So that's fine.
I think we really did miss some stuff, and it certainly left me with a lot of questions. So is there anything you want to share that we haven't heard yet that you think we need to know about?
Like I said in the beginning, I think that halfway through the show, I kind of got dogged on for the choke comment, and like I said, I apologized for it. I don't apologize because I wanted to miss. I apologize for the wording. But I think that I'm going to walk out of this show with my head held high and knowing that I didn't steep to that level. And you know what? They're the ones who have to live with that, not me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we certainly wish you all the best with next week. And, I can't wait to see what happens now. Thank goodness we don't have another U.S. Open in between.
There's drama next week, wouldn't you? That's what it's been for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. So, where are you playing this coming up?
I have another Canadian Tour event. I'm heading up to Winnipeg on Thursday, and then I'm actually heading out to the Futures Tour to see a few girls out there. So, it should be an interesting time on the road.
We look forward to talking to you next week after the next big break. Hope you don't break challenge. And good luck next week, and we'll chat again.
Thanks, I appreciate it.